Hello everyone, I am Professor Nayanasne, Department of Information Technology, Parvatibai Genba Mose College of Engineering, Wagholi, Pune. So in this session, we'll start with the next point of the 5th unit, that is your performance quality assurance. So whenever we talk about quality assurance, there is always word SQA, that is a software quality assurance. It is a plan and systematic method for evaluation of the quality of your software products, your standards, procedures and processes. So it assures that the standards and the process once are established are followed throughout your software development life cycle. So the evaluation of the compliance with these standards and procedures is done by the various continuous monitoring processes, then product evaluation, and by conducting the different audits. So SQA can be done by continuously monitoring your software development life cycle, by your product evaluation techniques and methods, and conducting your audits on your software development. So SQA is a plan and systematic method for your evaluation of your quality of your software products, what standards you have established, what processes you have considered, and what are your procedures to follow all the standards and procedures. So it is a systematic plan or systematic procedures. So we have different standards and procedures under the software quality assurance. So standards are nothing but we can say the established criteria by which the software engineering products are compared, and the procedures are also the established criteria by using it we develop the development process and different control process are controlled. So procedures are nothing but your criteria of establishment. By using the procedures, we can actually compare your control processes and your development processes. So the standards and procedures actually establish the methods for developing your software application. The role of SQA is to provide assurance of their existence and the accuracy. So there are different type of standards we can say in SQA. So first is your documentation standard, then your design standard and code standards, and there are different activities in SQA. We can list it in a 4 type, or we can list it in a 4 things. First is your continuous monitoring, second is your product evaluation, and third is your auditing, and fourth is your procedure control, or we can say monitoring and controlling your procedures. So we'll see one by one this all. Firstly, let's see the design standard, document standard and the code standard. So document standards are established under the SQA, which defines the proper content for planning and controlling. This document standard provides the consistency throughout your software development lifecycle. Then second is your design standard. That means it defines the proper form and the content of your design product. These standards provides a proper rule book for corresponding methods for translating your SRS, that is your software requirement specification, into the actual design software. So the design standard provides one rule book, or it has some rule book, some protocols that are nothing but we are using it for translating the SRS, that is software requirement specification, into the actual designing. So that is your design standard. And third is your code standard. So the code standards specify the programming language in which the source code has to be written. The code standard also specify the various constraints that should be putted on your language features. They also specify the language structures, that means the data structures, then the styles, the patterns, the rules for the data structure, the interfaces and the internal code documentation. So these are the 3 types of standards which need to follow in SQA or in your software development lifecycle. First is your documentation standard, second is your design standard, and third is your code standard. Documentation standard, which sees or which defines your content for planning and controlling. Second is your design standard, that means the proper form of content and design has been established, or we can say it provides a rule book for translating your SRS into the actual software design. And third is your code standard, that specifies which programming language should be used, what constraint should be applied and apply on that programming language, what language structures are there, what patterns, rules and data structure interfaces, internal code documentation is required. So it is given in the code standards. The procedures are also followed and carried out throughout the development life cycle. So we have just we can list just 3 to 4 procedures, such as like configuration management is the procedure. Then second is the non-conference report. That means any development cycle or any development process which is not following the SQA standard, it is reported. Third is your corrective actions, and fourth is your testing and formal inspections. So these are the different procedures which need to follow in your development life cycle, software development life cycle, we can say. Then we have different SQA relationships to the other assurance activity. So SQA provides relationship with a different other assurance activity. Before that, we have just a small point of SQA quality assurance activity. So we'll just see what different types of SQA activities are carried out. So the product evaluation and the process monitoring are the important SQA activities, which gives the assurance that the software development process and the control process are in the management plan and carry out effectively. So they also assures that the procedures and standards that are correctly followed throughout your development process, and the product are continuously monitored for checking that whether it is following that particular standards and procedures or not. The audits are also conducted, which are very important technique to conduct the evaluation and process monitoring of your product. Then we have the intermediate review for the plan of the plan. So we can assure that the standards and the procedures which in the plan we have written are actually followed in your actual development or not. Then we have product evaluation, which is an SQA activity that assures that standards are being followed in your product development. Then process monitoring is the activity under the SQA which ensures that appropriate steps are carried out during your development process. Then SQA standards monitor all the process by comparing the actual step carried out and those who are documented in your procedures or which are documented in previously. Next is SQA also ensures that the management plan specifies the method that should be used by monitoring activities of the SQA process. Then we have audit as the important activity to review the management plan, the technical processes and the assurance processes. Then the main idea behind SQA audit is to ensure that the control procedures are properly followed and the desired documentation is properly maintained or not. The SQA product is nothing but an audit report to display the findings and the recommendation to force that the development process should obey the standards and the procedures which are established in the previous section, or we can say in the previous plan, which we have done at very early phase of your software development. So these are some activities, software quality assurance activities which need to be followed throughout your development process. This is all we have listed in a different manner as per their use, but the main activities is the continuous monitoring, your product evaluation and auditing by using the different methods, different processes and procedures to ensure that our software has a good quality, or our software development life cycle uses all the plan assurance activity and all the standards which we have established at the initial phase. Now there are some different assurance activities which has relationship with our SQA. So the first one is the configuration management and monitoring. So it ensures that the software configuration management activity are conducted in accordance with a CM plans, that is a configuration management plans, standards and procedures. So configuration management monitoring is nothing but it ensures that whatever configuration management plan we have done, whatever standards we have written in that CM plan and what procedures we have written in the CM plan, so your software follows all that standards and procedures. So it has some activities which are monitor and audit the SQA plan, which include the baseline control, the configuration identification, the configuration control, the configuration status accounting and the configuration authentication. So this is the first configuration management monitoring activity which has a relationship with your SQA. Then next is the verification and validation monitoring. So the SQA activity ensure the V and V activity, that is verification and validation activity, by following parameter. So as these things are having the relationship with the SQA, so we need certain activities which will ensure that the SQA is followed in verification and validation. So which are the activities? The first is the FTR, that is the formal technical review. Second is time to time inspection of your software product, and third one is the walkthrough. So that is nothing but the meetings which will be conducted to go with the code. Third is your formal testing, formal test monitoring. So SQA ensures the formal testing such as the acceptance testing. It carried out in accordance with your SQA plan and procedures. It will review the testing documentation to follow the standards and the procedures which we have established previously. So it includes, as it is a formal testing, it includes the different test plan, test specification, test procedures and test reports. So these are different test criterias, or we can say the testing methods which will be followed in a formal testing monitoring. So such as your acceptance testing, it is the example of your SQA, which SQA will ensure your formal testing for your product by using the acceptance testing. It will carried out in accordance your SQA plan. So whatever SQA plan we have written, so it will be carried out with accordance with the SQA plans and procedures. So it has certain documentation and also certain standards and procedures which are previously established and which need to be followed by your software development cycle. So these are three different activities which are having relationship with your SQA. Okay, and these activities are the assurance, software quality assurance, other assurance activities with the relationship with your SQA. So again I will repeat certain points. So we have seen in this session performance quality assurance by using the different SQA activities. We have seen the definitions of your SQA, that is a plan and systematic method for evaluation of the quality of software products, standards, procedures and the processes. Now then we have seen the different SQA activities, that is continuous monitoring, product evaluation, auditing. Then we have seen the type of standards that need to be followed in your software development life cycle. First is the document standards, that means your content has been properly written. Design standards, that means the content which had written, the content should be proper form, in a proper form, and a certain rule book has been designed, so that will be implementing your SRS into the actual code. And next is the code standards. Okay, so next one is your different activities, assurance activities with the relationship with the SQA. First we have seen the configuration management, which has the CM plan, that is a configuration management plan, standards and procedures which need to be followed in your software development life cycle. So CM activity monitor and audit by SQA plans includes, so various activities under the configuration management are the baseline control, configuration identification, configuration control, configuration status accounting and configuration authentication. Then we have seen V and V monitoring, that is verification and validation. In that we have certain activities like the FTR, formal technical reviews, time to time inspection, that is again a meeting, inspection meeting, and third is the walkthrough, that is also a team meeting which will go through the code. And third one is your formal testing monitoring, which has the test plan, test specification, test procedures and test reports. So I hope these things have been understood to you. If not, you can comment in comment box or you can ask me in a Zoom session. Thank you.